Top 5 games that should be rebooted. We all have games that we remember fondly, whether it be the first one we ever picked up or the last one we ever touched. There's something about them that brings back memories of yearning for those days again. As years pass and technology gets revamped and overhauled, some titles age miserably, and others deserve the chance to have new life breathed into them. So we completed a list of our top 5 favorite games that we would unquestionably love to see make their appearance in this generation. Number 5. Actraiser. When Actraiser was first released in Japan in 1990, then in North America in 1991, it took the god game simulation genre and added side-scrolling, platforming action that complemented it damn near perfectly. On one hand, you play as the Master, a deity who was wounded in battle by the hands of Tanzra, causing you to lay dormant for centuries, only to rise up to reclaim the good in the world. With the help of your angel servant, you raise civilizations to worship you, build cities in your name, and in turn, regain your strength back in order to do battle with the villainous Tanzra once more. Once you have enough worshippers, it's up to the Master to take care of the dirty work, and that's where the action kicks in. You emerge into the lands, hacking and slashing minions, fighting Tanzra's 6 lieutenants in wondrous fashion, and ultimately combating the evil one himself. Actraiser's monotheistic overtones were accompanied by an amazingly haunting soundtrack, which garnered it much praise from fans and critics alike. Although a sequel was released, it didn't live up to what the original set out to accomplish, and ended up becoming a straightforward action platformer that felt more or less incomplete. The original Actraiser's blend of simulation, action, music, and story is one that is not easily forgotten, making us want to see more of the world in all its current-gen glory, and putting it in this list at number 5. Number 4. Robot Alchemic Drive. Known as Gigantic Drive in Japan, which admittedly sounds a lot cooler, RAD got little recognition once it hit the States. It's a shame, because the kaiju fighter spun a classic theme and created elements which had not normally been put into practice in games before. You got to take control of the human protagonist and pilot your remote-controlled Transformer-esque robots back and forth, and that led to some interesting yet amazing moments. While the control scheme took a little time to get used to, it certainly didn't distract you from your sense of awe as you hulked around the city, smashing the alien Volgara race into the cityscapes, destroying skyscrapers, then switching back to your protagonist on the fly to watch the giant monsters tower above you as they fought. It was a wonderful setup, and one that hasn't been since. Sure, the voice acting was laughable, and keeping your human form from getting crushed amidst all the destruction was difficult enough, but it wasn't enough to stop you from having one hell of a time. Low shipping and sales numbers pushed this gem into the back corner of a big room, but it would be great to see Robot Alchemic Drive make a return one day in one form or another. Number 3. Power Stone. Capcom hit a sweet spot in their 3D arena fighter, Power Stone, when it came out for the Dreamcast in 1999, taking an original concept and mixing it with loosely inspired tropes filled with myths and legends, made for an entirely unique world in which people who believe in superstitions set out to claim a treasure that is said to fulfill any wish. The premise sets up a game that is fun to watch and even more fun to play. Each of the 10 characters had their own look, moves, abilities, and backstory, adding more substance to a party game than was available at the time. Power Stone 2 was a more polished successor, albeit one that omitted some things that made the first title stand out. Nevertheless, it was still a great game that offered hours of chaotic entertainment. While a Power Stone-esque brawler based on the Last Man comic was recently released on PS4 and Xbox One, it just makes us feel the emptiness that Power Stone left behind, and that's why we would love to see the beloved franchise get a second wind in this new generation. Number 2. The Hunter series. Since the release of the last Hunter the Reckoning title, aptly named Redeemer, on Xbox back in 2003, a slew of isometric co-op action games have popped up across numerous platforms. While some have actually been pretty good, others make you feel like you're literally playing the leftovers of other games, and almost none have been able to capture the dark lore or interesting characters quite like the Hunter series. Mixing pop culture, modern aesthetics, and supernatural elements into one bloody nightmarish landscape, Hunter the Reckoning's world offered plenty to discover and unlock as you sliced, immolated, and blasted your way through hordes of demonic entities. Sadly, no other Hunter games have been released since then, and it hasn't gone unnoticed by the franchise's loyal community. With its humor, veritably engrossing gameplay, and unique spin on a modern world filled with the supernatural, the Hunter would contend for a perfect fit on current-gen consoles. Plus, the addition of online co-op would definitely be a welcome addition. That's why the Hunter takes number 2 in games we would love to see rebooted. Number 1. The Legend of Dragoon. With a few, but strong exceptions, no Japanese role-playing game during the era of original PlayStation managed to capture the grandeur and imaginations of kids and adults alike, quite like the 2000's The Legend of Dragoon. The fantasy turn-based title offered so much content over the span of its 4 discs, it accounted for numerous, endless, sleepless nights. As you took in the rich, magic-filled gameplay, the vast world and numerous locations, and amazing visuals that detailed your hero's journey as he sets out to rescue his love interest, there was a deep impression that this was a story that would not be forgotten. Everything about The Legend of Dragoon felt original and fresh, from the way the turn-based battle system was tweaked, to the polished visuals highlighting your transformation to Dragoon as you dealt devastating attacks, to unique antagonists that filled the game's narrative. Every battle felt like it was building up to something, and the plot kept up, often surpassing it at times. Although it might show its wear and tear compared to today's standards, a reboot of the series in some fashion has already been petitioned for by fans. People don't forget about good things, and nostalgia aside, The Legend of Dragoon would serve as one of this generation's most anticipated RPGs if it were to ever be produced. And there you have it! We know there are many more titles that deserve the chance to get a reboot, so let us know in the comments which suspended games or franchises you would positively love to see get the reboot treatment for this generation. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.